So today on Product Shop, I'm going to try and get as far as I can with getting this thing wired up and plumbed up to run some oil. Now, I did clean out 2 tanks. The tanks I cleaned, there are 2 different threads that come on these tanks. One of them is this really coarse thread, right? But the guy did give me this, so if I go get a hose big enough, you know, I can clamp on here and we can use that way. Or the way these things are designed, this actually came with the kit that came with the PA BioDiesel centrifuge. The way these things are, even though there's a thread, I'm pretty sure they still will lock on. Yeah. Maybe. Come on, big dog. What's up? All right? Yeah, there you go. So we could still use, well, that's the fine thread one, but like this one that I cleaned, that's got the coarse thread. Oh, we can't use that one. So I guess we will have to use this. We're gonna have to determine how I want to do them. Going forward, I'm only going to get the ones with the thread, or that you can put the cam lock system on. I do have 2 of them. This one does have the thread. This one, oh no, this one has the thread. That one has the big gnarly thing. I'll have to go back to the guy I got these from and see if I can't get some more of these. But going forward, we got to be careful which totes we take. I think what I will do, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is probably just turn that into a scrap tote. Anyway, let's get on with the system here. I'm going to go ahead and assemble this. Basically, we have to put this on here, and then we can bolt this on here. I'm interested to, might have to look on their website to see if this is supposed to go down, up, I don't know. And then the phase converter here, or this is a VFD, which is basically a phase converter. This is going to take single phase and create our 3-phase, because this is a 3-phase motor. Horsepower 0.5 horsepower. It's a 1/2 horse motor. Okay. We do have another 110 plug. I don't know why it came with another 110 plug. Because this can't be wired one. Oh, maybe that's for wiring this. Do we run this off of 110? I don't know yet. Let's see. Input 1 horsepower, 100 to 120 volts, 10 amps. Okay, so yeah, we are going to use 110 for this. Oh, that's great. I thought I was going to have to bring another 220 over. So single phase input, output, 3-phase 230 volt. That's interesting. Huh, made in India. At least it's not coming from China. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up on installing this, and we're going to work back from the pump. What I'd like to do, because right now I don't know if I'm going to use these totes up here. I do have 2 clean totes that I can start with. One of them I'm going to start a settling tank, and the one that I can actually screw stuff on, I'm going to use that for my clean diesel tank. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put them down here, and I'm going to show you, like, if you did not have a rack system, that is the purpose of why they offer this. This does not necessarily need to come with it, nor does the inline heater need to come with it. You can buy just a basic centrifuge, and then this is an add-on. You can either buy theirs or you can make your own. I actually have, I'll find it here in a minute. Well, not today probably, but I have my original inline heater that I made. I'll show you how I did that. And then this whole setup is another addition. And then all the plumbing, like he sent a bunch of extra plumbing. And this thing, I guess, that's like another thing that you can get. Okay, let's start with the easiest and obvious part of this. Okay, nice little cast aluminum piece. Okay, now this setup is pretty self-explanatory and pretty easy. Well, let me see if this is going to stick out. All right, let me go get an Allen key for this, and I'm going to put some red Loctite on this stuff. Just don't want it coming out. Haha, first try. All right. I'm gonna assume. Oh, that'll still go on there. Okay. So we can go ahead and mount this, and I don't think that has to be clocked in any general direction. This has to be on there. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that's nice of them. They sent another key. Is that a spare key? That doesn't need a key. We have a spare key in case you lose that. So we're just going to give it a little, whoa, more than a little dab. Seems like all this is aluminum. You definitely don't want to be cross-threading this stuff. I feel like I should have put some lock washers on here or something. Okay, so that's that. This is the coupler, or a Lovejoy. I think Lovejoy is a brand of coupler. That's what we used to call them back in the day. Just gonna put a little Loctite on that. Oh. Okay. Now once this thing is bolted on here, this thing really shouldn't go anywhere. You got more Loctite on the wood than anything. So we'll have to find a spot for that. And now I need to go find out how this should be clocked. Now, being that the tag is like that, I'm going to assume that it should be installed like this. Let's see. Aha. Okay. I mean, so far this is all pretty straightforward, simple stuff. And that looks like it's going to be ½ inch maybe. Now I really don't think the orientation of this really matters. I mean, it might, but I'm assuming you can orientate that any way you want. So that's pretty much that process. That was pretty straightforward. Now we need to get on to actually wiring this thing up. So it did come with some wires. We have blue, black, and green. So I assume it's going to be our three-phase, our three hots and a neutral, or 3 hots and a or whatever you want, or whatever you want to call it, a ground, or so. We have that. Let's get a screwdriver. I'm pretty sure this is also going to be pretty self-explanatory. I've never actually wired a VFD, but I had one on a milling machine years ago. So I assume we're gonna have to get out the schematic. And now I'm gonna wire this up, and then we're gonna just get it running. Forward, reverse, D13, D14, D15, 24 volt, 24 volt, DCM, DCM. Not sure what all that means. So we're gonna have to resort to the paperwork. But it looks like you put your power in here, and then your motor here, and then I'm not sure what all this stuff does up here. That could be for other things, but hey, there is gold down there. You know how I like to keep them gold fingered computer boards. Now, I just got a couple of these things, big monster ones, man. I should have kept them. I actually have one on the bench right now that I'm taking apart for scrap. So I'm gonna take a look at the paperwork real quick just to make sure I don't fry this thing. And I'm pretty sure we're just gonna wire in over here, wire out there. It's pretty, you know, self-explanatory. So let's open up this motor real quick. See how we're gonna do this. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Let me go get a little socket. And I got all my tools. Great. Alright, I'm back at it. It's another day. So a couple things. One, I had to go get some fit-ins for the pump, mainly like these little small fit-ins, okay, and some more hoses. And then I actually got some hose where I can adapt this down into I forget what I got. Maybe this is what I got for that, that I can actually hook that pump to it, basically. So I'm pretty sure I got everything I need now. Now I'm gonna definitely have to start sorting through my stock, because every time I go to Home Depot, it is not cheap. But anyway, it's gonna be well worth it here in a minute. Probably 1 tank of fuel will definitely pay for a lot of these parts. So wiring this is pretty straightforward, as long as you, let's see here. So if you've never wired 3-phase, it's actually pretty simple. It tells you everything to do right here. All these things are they're lettered, T1, T2, whatever, all the way up to like 9, I think. So some of them it tells you right here for low voltage, meaning 230 or 460. It gives you the high voltage legs or the low voltage legs. So T4, T5, and T6 we've tapped together with this doohickey. Now I couldn't find any more things, so I just used that. Eventually I'll probably, I don't know what these are rated at. 25 amps, 34 amps. Yeah, okay, so we're only be pulling 1.8 amps, so that's good. I'm good with that. And then it tells you to put T1, T7, T2, T8, T3, and T9 together with your line 1, 2, and 3, which corresponds over here, line 1, 2, and 3. Really simple. The most complicated part of all of this is actually dialing in the frequency controller here. You have to configure the drive. Now it tells you how to do it here, but it's kind of vague and complicated. This company, if you just type in automatic direct door pulse GS10 configuration, this company actually has great videos that just move you right along the process. Pretty simple. Basically, you have to hit like menu and then go into all these parameter groups that you want, drive configuration, and then what you actually want to be doing. There's literally hundreds of things you can do with this drive. It's actually pretty cool, but we just want basic RPM control, and that's what we have here. Now originally it comes configured where you hit run and then you do it here. I've got it, you have to go into the parameters and set it to this dial, but I can run this and then I crank it up. It's moving real slow. Now I did squirt some oil in there, so that's run dry. You don't want to run these things dry, but you can crank it all the way up or down. We're not going to run that too much. Yeah, so now I'm going to plumb this up, plumb that up the rest of the way, bring in the 2 totes that I'm going to use, and I'm going to show you how this system works with 2 totes on the ground. We're going to do this system up here next, but right now I'm going to show you how we're going to just start off by transferring it from one tote to another tote just on the ground for the time being. I'm going to use this one as the clean oil, so I'm drying it out. There was just a little bit of water in the bottom and I don't want to have water transfer. This one here, I'm not really worried about the water. Centrifuge should take that out. On this run right here, unfortunately, I am going to be pulling right off the bottom of this tote, which I do not want to do. But it's going to showcase what this machine could do and what it's going to pull out. So we are going to pull off the bottom. I did get some pipes to adapt this down to where I could feed it into the pump, and we're going to showcase a tote-to-tote transfer through the centrifuge into the tote. Now I am going to run this first tote 2 times. Whatever oil I put in here and we run through, we're going to run it, test the machine, see what kind of sludge we get out of it, and then I will run that whole tote again because I was not able to settle it and do my settling process the way you'll see in the future. Eventually I'm going to clean this particular tote out because it has the fine thread on there. That one does not. I'll have to do the same thing and get another one of these things here from the guy. But actually my settling totes, we're going to do a different, we're not going to be actually pulling off the bottom. The only thing we're going to use these for is to bleed off some sludge and crap out of the bottom, which maybe we might run that through the centrifuge as well. I don't know, you know, but we're going to get this dialed in. But for now, we just need to get some oil spinning. Okay, so what I'm going to do is adapt this down to where I can plumb it, probably using this, whatever hose I bought for this, which I don't even know if I have the hose for that. That's interesting. Is that it? Okay, that's the one I need. That one and that one. And then we can plumb this into that. I bought the wrong size fittings. Okay. I needed another one of those. No matter, we'll figure it out. Actually, I have this, which I can use. Okay, I'll figure that out. So I'm gonna let that dry. That's loud as heck. So I'm just gonna time lapse this so I can listen to some music and get in a good groove. This is straightforward. We're just gonna adapt this down to this somehow so that I can run this hose here from here into the pump, and then from the pump into the centrifuge. I hope I have enough. I went to Home Depot. I'll tell you what, man, not only are they like out of stock of everything, but the people working there have no clue. I asked 2 people, and both of them, I feel like my IQ went down a couple points just talking to them. It's really a sad state of affairs. Anyway, but that's not for I mean, some people there were pretty knowledgeable, but there were just a couple people there that just, I don't even know how they got a job. They have no business helping people because, anyway, I'm not going to talk bad about people. So the messed up thing about this style system is, one, we can only use these things, right? And it's got a weird, it doesn't even have a ball valve like most of them do. It has this just valve. I do not like these at all. I think going forward, these ones are all going to be used for scrap. But for now, I need to actually use them. We're going to only focus on the ones that have that, because that style up there, not only does it have the thread I can get and adapt to, I can put that right on there, okay, and then we can use, you know, we can adapt out of here. So anyway, let's get this plumbed up to reduce down to the pump. We'll get the pump set up on top. Now right now I'm just going to have the pump probably sitting right up here and the VFD sitting right there. And with these, I did tighten up the back, but I need to get something to hold these wires. We'll get this cleaned up, but for now, we're just going to get it running. And once I figure out a system, like that's going to get mounted up with a switch where I can turn it off. And now that thing there, the instructions say there should be like a whole bunch of things in front of that, which eventually will get all the right stuff. And even the video I found, the guy said this is how it should be wired, and it showed like fuses and a bunch of things, filters or whatever, before the VFD. And then for the video purpose, he said we're just going to wire it straight to the breaker, you know, so it can be wired straight, plugged in. We want to do it right because we want this thing to last and everything to be pretty much on the up and up. So this is going to be a nice system when I'm done, when I have this, and eventually I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the pump, because I'm going to be pumping everything up and letting it feed down. We're not going to need to run that, but we might. I don't know. We have a lot of options here. So I've seen a lot of other people's setups. I haven't seen anybody with a blending system like this. So we might be the first person to have a static blender. That's what these are actually called, static blenders, static fluid blenders. This is my oil I put in the pump just to, so when I was running it wasn't running dry. Yeah, anyway, enough yapping. Let's get to putting some pipe. Now, being that this thing here ain't got really a seal, I am going to put a bunch of this pipe dope that I got, pipe thread sealant, all around that to seal that. I'm not sure about that at all. Like I said, we're not going to be using these in the future, but I do have this one clean and ready to go. I am going to have to use these 4 until I get some more. And eventually, even if I do get this style, I'll just cap them off. They do come with caps. It does come with a cap that we can seal it, and then we can do my system where I want to put the oil down in with a funnel and pull from the top. All right, we're getting a little bit closer. I probably should close that valve. I'm gonna have to put on some things in another valve. Now, I don't like how far that's sticking out. That's kind of dangerous, but for what we're gonna do today, I'll just make sure I don't run into it with anything. But we are plumbed into the pump. We are plumbed into the heater, into the centrifuge, out into the top of the thing there, and then the dirty oil at the end. Now, not a lot is going to come out of there. I got it feeding down into that bucket down there. So we have our system. I used a hole saw. I had this stainless steel funnel that someone made. I had it laying around here for a while. I probably should have cleaned it up a little bit. This is just temporary. Last time I had a big giant, I forget what I used, but I had a huge funnel. That way you can just dump 5-gallon buckets and flip them over and let them drain out. We will be doing something similar with something like a screen in the bottom, you know, expanded metal or whatnot, so I can dump stuff on it, set multiple containers in there and just let them drain. I did put a little bit of oil in there. I don't even think it was enough to get to the thing. Now, I tried to use my pump. I dug out all my pumps. So I had a couple fill rights, and I don't know about that pump. I've never used that one, but it was given to me. They said it was good. I do have this air pump, which I don't like using this. This actually pressurizes the drum. It works really good. Pressurizes the drum and pumps it out. This one here is a hand crank that I used to, my first oil processor, I had welded a wheel on here, which I later took off and put on my wire stripper. But I welded a wheel on here, and I had the oil circulating through a whole thing. I did find my stainless things I got from the scrap yard. This is what I'm going to use for after I blend the oil. I'm going to have a pump that I can pump through here, where I'll probably block off one side, and then these here will blast the oil at different levels. I'll pick it up from like maybe over here and have that back there, and it'll just help blend and keep the oil and whatever I use, gasoline, diesel fuel, whatever, keep it well blended. Okay, now this is just a first run. I don't think this is definitely not gonna be anywhere close to what the final product is gonna be. I mean, all this stuff is just here temporarily, and I'm just trying to get some oil flowed and filtered. So right now I have a problem with this pump. Not sure what's wrong with it. I might pull this side off and see if it's seized up over there, but it's not even trying to start. I am getting 12 volt to there's a switch here, and then I don't know if this is like a fuse or overload, overheat protection. I am getting 12 volt past it, but the problem is it's just the pump itself is not running. So I'm gonna pull this cover off over on this side. It's gonna allow me to see in there, and there's a wheel with a bunch of little blades, if I remember correctly. I've had issues in the past with these getting clogged up down here. There's a screen in here, in between here. That should be okay. But I think this thing sat obviously 4-5 years now since the last time I ran oil. This one's got a super long hose, and I got this pump for free. It was like practically brand new. These are not cheap. I think these are like 400 bucks, these fill rights. I don't know how many gallons, 15 gallon a minute. Okay, it's big right there. I got this from a guy that was running biodiesel. I actually got a whole tote and this for free of biodiesel. And what I did is, it came with like a quarter tank. I just filled it the rest of the way with oil and used it. It actually just blended in, you know. I just kept it blended up pretty good. I didn't have any issues that I know of. It burned it all. But I'm gonna pull this off real quick, and then we'll take a look inside here and see what we got. Now you can buy rebuild kits for these pumps online. This one was working great last time I used it, so I see that it should be. Oh wow. Yeah, no wonder it's not working. We got a little rust action. Let me see if I can't pull that out of there. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to work on this for a minute. I'll get this apart and see if we can't fix this. I do have a couple of these pumps. Maybe we can make a good one out of it. But obviously this right here was the problem. I think if I could just get that out of there, I think we're good. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. copper dance before?